This is the second time I've been here to the World Utilities Congress. It's a really good forum to meet the leading utilities who are in this process of moving towards a greener, more sustainable system and towards net zero. And so, here you'll meet utilities, power producers, grid companies, but also technology companies that are supplying them as well. So it's a really good forum and place to network. Well, we're in this process of utilities who are these very big, significant companies moving to meet the aspirations of net zero. And so they're greening their power supply on the generation side, but then they're also needing to modernize the grid and make these very big investments in power technology and grid technology as the grid gets built out, but also modernized and functions in a different way. One of the things that's interesting about this Congress is that last year there was a discussion around how utilities could contribute to the aims of net zero ahead of COP28, and from that came the Net Zero Utilities Alliance, which was initiated by TAQA. And that's now become a very useful and powerful forum for these discussions, and is also influencing the policy debate and policy makers. So we just had our CEO roundtable for UNESA as well. So that happens within the context of this conference as well. So it's a really important discussion. Well, the UAE has played a really increasingly important role now for probably over a decade. And was one of the first countries to really embrace this shift towards a green, renewable, energy-based system. And I'm talking about things like establishing Masdar as an early investor in renewable energy generation technologies, also successfely hosting IRENA and hosting the IRENA General Assembly that we come to every year. And now with this Utilities Congress and the formation of UNESA, I think the UAE is now really pushing forward this discussion around the role of utilities in the transition. So I think the UAE is playing a very proactive role. COP28 was really a landmark COP because it established this commitment to tripling renewable power by 2030 and really set a very high bar for the next COPs to then follow up on this pledge and build out the generation that's necessary to achieve this aim. We're now working with the UAE on things like establishing a global grids target as well, and a global storage target, so that there's more attention paid to the enabling infrastructure around renewables as well. So really the UAE is playing an important part in all these discussions. It's clear that the infrastructure that's necessary to build the tripling of renewables and to go to a greener energy system is not really there. So there's an enormous amount of infrastructure that needs to be built out, and some of it is as we've talked about, grids and transmission, but it's also things like ports that are necessary for offshore wind. It's infrastructure to be able to build green hydrogen facilities, for instance. It's also the skills and the jobs that are necessary, and the amount of huge amount of skilled workers that are going to be needed to build the transition, and do that in a way which is also fair and just, and that involves the global south, but also works towards having more equity in the workplace, more gender diversity, for instance, and making sure that there's gender parity and gender diversity within the workplace. So there's a lot of challenges, but they're good challenges to have, and I'm very hopeful that working together we can meet those challenges.